Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And this week, I brought back a couple beers from my recent trip from Austin to Austin, Texas. So I brought beers back from Austin. How's that?
I am lost.
Look, it's not nearly as bad as the St. Patrick's Day one.
No, it's not.
No, but okay. So I went to Austin.
There we go.
On the way home, I brought some beers.
That's closer.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a little backstory here. So the brewery is called Real Ale Brewing Company out of Blanco, Texas. You would think it's Blanco, B-L-A-N, but no, I watched their video on their website. It's Blanco. In fact, I wrote that down just in blank-o, Blanco. Blanco, Texas. An hour outside of Austin. I was at an event for other staffing.
South by Southwest?
No, not nearly that cool. No, this is a bunch of stiffs and suits from the staffing industry. And
was that the day you didn't wear a hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how fancy it was.
Yeah,
I didn't
wow.
wear a hat that day. But I was at an event, and I met this brewer. So one of the guys whose company was hosting an event there down on Rainy Street. Have you heard of Rainy Street in Austin?
Yeah.
Okay, so the I can't remember the name of the bar we were at, but we had an event there. Really good food, and then the guy that owns that started Real Ale Brewing Company, Brad Farbstein, that's his name, Brad Farbstein, was there. Got to meet the dude. Absolutely unassuming, everyday guy. Really awesome to talk to. But the first beer I tried was the beer we're going to drink today, which is their Brute IPA called Moonwalk Zero Gravity Brute IPA.
Okay.
So this has quickly become one of my favorite styles of IPA, and I don't know why.
See, I'm on the other end of that spectrum. Careful now.
You like the...
I'm not a fan.
You do not like the Brute.
No. I mean, look at me. I'll drink anything. But if I'm choosing, this is not the choice. It's something about the dryness of it, which is probably what appeals to you.
I love the dryness.
I'm just, I'm of the old school. I'm of the piney, resiny, malty styles. I'm not so much about the champagne bubbles, but that's just me. Maybe this will change my mind. We'll see.
There are tiny bubbles in here.
Tiny bubbles.
I knew you'd go there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Brute IPA Moonwalk from Real Ale Austin Blanco, Texas.
You got it. Blanco.
That's
It smells. It smells like Brute IPA. It's the color is very light in color. It's like a little less than a Pilsner. It's a little bit murky or hazy, if you want to use that term, which is kind of what you're going for in the style, I believe.
bubbly.
Very bubbly.
Very bubbly. So I think the idea, what you would be looking for in this is it still kind of has that pininess, right? It has the IPA taste.
Yeah.
But there is that dryness, that champagne.
The finish is very dry. So up front, it's citrusy-ish. It's an IPA. You know you're getting some hop flavor. This is, I'm assuming, all done after the boil, like a hazy IPA. So
Probably.
You're not getting that bitterness, because there's not really any bitterness here. And then it just finishes off like something that's in a wine barrel or something like that.
I hope you did some research, because I don't understand how they get to that. So I certainly hope you did some research on the brute part. I
did a little bit of it, but not going to lie, it's very sciencey and like chemistry and stuff. And I had a hard time following everything, but I did do some stuff on it, and I think I can will it down to where you and I can understand what's happening.
Let's hit it.
And Dolan will probably already know all this.
He probably does.
So the main thing that is involved with this, it's an enzyme, and oh boy, I wish you were saying this one, because there's no way. I'm gonna sound it out.
Okay.
Amyloglucosidase. Amyloglucosidase.
I dated her in college, I think.
I wondered.
Old Amy Lacousidase.
Yep, it's close to that.
Yep.
That's the enzyme. And basically what it is, it's something you add into the beer, and it breaks down complex sugars that wouldn't normally be able to be broken down. So usually what they were using this for years and years, was big boozy stouts. to give it a little bit extra punch.
Oh.
It adds another couple of days of fermentation to the. So like basically when you're done and you add this, it starts it up again. The yeast is activated again. There's more sugars to be eaten and taken up. So we'll go get the last remaining stuff that wasn't broken down, and it goes and gets it and starts the process. It usually takes another 2 days or so.
Oh.
So it just wipes out any leftover sugars.
Okay.
Is how you get that dryness. That's why you'll see this in dry stouts or just imperial stouts. A lot of times the enzyme here, that's why it's used or where it came from. So this guy named Kim Sturdivant.
Okay.
Very recently.
Sturdivant.
Like we're talking November 2017.
Oh.
Was like, you know what? I want to use this in an IPA. I want to see what happens.
Where? What brewery are we talking
Social
about?
Kitchen and Brewery in San Francisco.
Oh.
He is credited with this style. So think of that. A year and a half ago.
Not even 2 years ago.
And now everybody, and I mean everybody,
Yes.
is making a brewed IPA.
So I've had, and this was a conversation that Brian and I had this morning, actually, that I almost thought about, because I have a brewed IPA from Sierra Nevada in my fridge right now. I saw that New Belgium has one. I was at the store last night, saw New Belgium has one now.
Yeah. I think Odell has one, maybe.
Yeah. I brought one back from Colorado, from Rock Cut for
Any brewery. Cross Trains had one. Like everybody that we know that makes beer is making a brewed IPA or has made one. It's just that's the hot style right now.
I like it.
So even a year ago, it was like hazy IPAs, everything, milkshake IPAs. Now everybody's
style.
turning and going to brewed IPA. Because it's similar in the way that you make it to a hazy IPA, where all the hops and stuff are added after the boil. So you get all the flavor, the aroma, but none of the bitterness. So that's the same thing, but then they're adding this afterwards, which cuts down on the haze, but dries it out and gives us that bubbly feel and taste.
Is it safe to assume that the ABV is higher on this than a standard IPA?
It should be a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it should be, yes. Because it gives it that extra push and it's pulling those sugars. And that's why it was used in those stouts, too. So it gives it just a little bump.
Moonwalk. Here we go. Moonwalk Brute IPA. Where is 6 ABV, 40 IBUs. Oh, look, it says right. Look at Dolan, super smart. 6.
Yeah, I mean that's almost like a pale ale, a 6, because I bet you that one's stronger.
In relation to that, we also have another one of their beers here, their Axis IPA, which is just their standard IPA. Interesting, 7.1.
Yeah, I remember that one because I've had that one more recently.
Look at the
and it was very malty.
The floaties in the bottom of this one. That's very floaty-y.
That's all right. We like floaties.
Yeah, we've had some, that's for sure.
We've had some chewies.
Yeah.
So this style came around, like I said, in San Francisco in 2017. And the guy it was credited with this. He kind of came out and said, check back with me in a year. I might be all about pine at that point. Like he couldn't even commit to like doing this all the time. But he did say like, hey, I'm the guy that created this. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure I'm making the best one. Yeah. Which kind of, you do want to have that mentality. If you create this whole new subgenre, you want to be the one that's known for it, right?
Right, yeah.
Now, I don't know, from the place where it sounds like it's like a pub bistro sort of situation where he's making it. So they're not like distributing it or canning it or anything like that from what I can tell.
So it's probably a very small batch to begin with, maybe.
And he's already changed his recipe like 7 or 8 times. Oh. They're adding in things like, usually what you'll see is a mixture of corn and wheat, sort of the grain bill you'll call it. So like that's what's used. So he's changed the amounts of each of those. Those are usually used because they don't. Let's see, they're fermentable without sugar. So wheat and rice is what he uses, and that's why you'll see sometimes Bud Light is known as having rice in their thing.
They're very happy to tell everyone right now what their ingredients are, which is just, for whatever reason, annoys the shit out of me. But I get it.
Well, soon everybody has to. That's the thing.
Well, and that's fine.
They're trying to pretend like it was their idea to do it, even though the court said you have to.
Here's the funny irony of the whole thing is, if you read Jim Cook's book, Jim Koch founder, Sam Adams. They did this in the very beginning against Heineken and those who were using other ingredients to sweeten their beer. Like they're using sugar and corn syrup and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was how Sam Adams gained some of their, good or otherwise, gained some of their notoriety, was publishing different, the ads and radio ads and stuff like that, attacking Heineken and Rolling Rock and those.
Yeah.
And touting how great their beer was versus
Back then, that's like a David and Goliath situation.
Absolutely, and it worked for him.
Yeah.
It worked for him. So, but now we hate it because it's Bud Light.
Yeah.
InBev.
Yeah. I saw yesterday was when we're recording this. There's some secrets behind the curtain here, but yesterday was April Fool's Day.
Yes.
And Lucky Bucket had a video they posted, and they're all corn syrup beer.
Yes.
And it was just corn syrup in a container. It was like Caro syrup or whatever, and I thought that was funny.
That's pretty funny.
Like, take that, Bud Light.
Good job, Lucky Bucket.
Yeah, so that was funny. Anyway, back to this science-y stuff of this, because this is about all I can handle. The 0 degree, it says right there, I think, that goes with, like, original gravity.
Okay.
And then, so that's like before you're brewing the beer, right? So that's your scientific reading on that. And then afterwards, you get like a post-gravity reading or something like that. There's another term. I'm blanking on it. I didn't write it down. It's like OG and PG. But the difference between those is how you find out your ABV, your alcohol per volume or whatever. So it's like there's an equation, like an actual math equation. And this one is 0 gravity. So it started out as 0.
Oh.
And that's the play on the Moon Man and
the 0 gravity and all that.
Right.
business.
So that's what that 0 degree thing is alluding to.
That's in my adventures with Bobby and Scott at Crossdrain. They throw out terms like that as they're brewing or whatever, and I would hear OG a lot.
Yep.
And I just thought they were being cool with you, like, hey, what's the OG or whatever.
Original gangster.
Right.
Like a Dolan situation.
No,
it's a scientific reading.
Actually a scientific thing.
Less cool. Nerdy.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's what this is about.
Yep.
The guy we were talking about just earlier, the guy that was credited with making this, Kim Sturdivant, he has delved into making mimosa styles of these already. So he's added some blood orange.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mimosa style like IPAs? Like Brut
IPA mimosa.
Sign me up.
You got dryness, and you have the orange juice, which gives it, that's how you technically can be a mimosa. You have to have that citrus juice in there. And so that's one of the things he's experimenting with already. So
interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that, from big breweries in the next few months too, if it works out.
I can't wait. That'll be fun.
So that's what I know. That's what I learned about it. It's very similar in style to the New England style. It's just a little bit added at the end that makes it different.
I hope as we do these, and we've done quite a few IPAs, because one, it's one of my more, I like that style a lot. I know you like that style a lot too. And if you've listened since the beginning or know me at all, I did not like this style at all. One bit.
Yeah.
No way. I'm not drinking an IPA. But I always had that weird, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Because, one, they got some cool labels. And two, they do some weird stuff, like fun stuff. And find, if you can, and I don't know if this would be one for you to start with, but we've gone through some gateway IPAs before. Find one, try it. You're not going to like it the first time. Try it the second time. Try it the third time.
Well, if you're a wine or champagne person, you will like this the first time.
Absolutely. Yeah, you might like
if
this.
you like that sort of dryness, that white wine or like a champagne. He was playing with calling it a champagne IPA because there was no name for it yet. But then he's like, well, you can't because it's not from that region of France where they make champagne. So he went with what he called it was Extra Brut IPA.
Okay.
And then they shortened it just to Brut IPA. So that's why it's the name it is and not Champagne IPA.
Find yourself one or two gateway IPAs and then try them, and then try them again, and then try them again. I guarantee the first time when you were 14 years old and you stole a beer out of your dad's fridge for the first time, or Dolan like last week when he stole a beer out of his dad's fridge for the first time, right? When he stole that Michelob,
right?
It didn't taste good. It tasted like urine.
You sure it was closed.
Well, maybe. I don't know. You never know.
You know, there's probably some kid out there that's like, man, this tastes so good.
This is
My
delicious.
first beer is so good, and he's in trouble now.
Maybe he's yes.
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic now, and
Could be.
He needs to go to a meeting.
He probably already was. He just was waiting to taste that drink.
Probably.
He might have never had a chance.
But my point is, you have to keep trying them.
Yeah, I would say I want to just clarify what you're saying. I would say if you don't like this one, then get a different one of the same style. Don't drink the same beer 3 times in a row thinking it's going to change. So pick one up, and then pick up a different one from a different place, because no matter what, IPA is a huge umbrella, right? And everybody does it differently. Everybody has their idea of what an IPA is, and that's what I like, because like you can get one everywhere. Every brewery is going to have something.
Yeah. So as usual, I did my research on the brewery. I went back to the conversations that in my head that I thought back to when I talked with Brad, when I met him for the first time down there, and I've fallen in love again with another brewery. Like,
oh boy,
these guys, man, they're just the coolest. Here, and I'll read through some of the stuff. They just want to make a good beer, and they just want to make a good beer for Texans.
Okay,
and that's it. Like, their tagline is unavailable in 49 states.
That's good.
I dig that so much.
I totally like that too, because there's something to be said, and this applies to me in a professional situation. There's something to be said about knowing your place and like knowing what's realistic for you, and also like not everybody has to be the A-list movie star. You know what I mean? Like, life can be awesome, just dominating your area and staying in your lane. And when people do this, and like his goal is not to be the biggest brewery in America, awesome, good for you, man. Like, I like that. I like that a lot.
If you go to the About Us section on their website and watch their little 4-minute video about Blanco, Texas, and who they are and how they brew beer and where they came from, and it's just like him driving around in an old pickup truck, an old 5-speed pickup truck, and talking to people, in small town and stuff, because they're only an hour outside of Austin.
Are they near a river by chance?
They are near the Blanco River. There you go.
Here's why.
Okay.
I did a little sleuthing on their site today. But unlike you, I didn't want to know any of the history or anything. So what I went to was hatware. Let me check their store. I had to see what they have, right? Because I'm a hat guy.
Right.
So I went into their store, and they had a couple hats, but what I saw a lot of were inflatable tubes. $50. And they had their beer logos on the tube. And I was like, well, this only can be because they're near like someplace you could float. Like a lake or a river, so that's why I was asking. So I've never seen that in any brewery merchandise, is inflatable tubes, which is a good idea.
This sounds like their style, though. That sounds like them.
It's like a lazy river is what this thing looked like.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
geez, this might be the first time in history where you're done before me.
You
really like that one.
I do. I like these guys a lot, and they make a damn good beer. I opened the Axis IPA, so this is just their standard IPA. So as we talk through them. Here, we'll sample.
Yeah, see the color difference already in this one?
Absolutely. It's way more.
It's clear, more clear.
Way more clear. So, let's see. Here we go. Located 1 hour from Austin in the scenic Texas Hill Country. So they have hills in Texas, I guess.
Yes.
I didn't know. And just minutes from Blanco Square in Blanco, in Blanco and the Blanco River. There we go.
How many times do we say Blanco today?
Blanco.
A lot.
It's like Plinko.
It is kind of like that.
Only not nearly as fun. I don't know. Maybe Blanco is
Maybe
fun.
it's more fun, yeah.
Since 1996, this is right off their website. Since 1996, we've been brewing in Blanco. One more time. Surrounded by the natural beauty of Texas Hill Country, when you get to make beer in a place like this, you develop a greater appreciation for the simpler things in life: fresh air, wide open spaces, working with your hands. We're proud to make beer with as little processing as possible. In addition to being unfiltered and unpasteurized, we never use preservatives or artificial colors. We start with the water from the nearby Blanco River and the highest quality ingredients. Then we take the time to allow the unique characteristics and the ingredients to shine. We believe doing less to the beer actually creates more complexity, aroma, and flavor. Unavailable in 49 states. Sold only in Texas.
Yeah, I liked a lot of their artwork, especially this one. This bottle is really cool. I'm a fan with you. I was thinking as we were talking about that, to smash a couple of my things that I enjoy in life together would be kind of fun. Would be like brewery baseball cards, or like, that has the owner and like the stats, and they're like just a little summary of their story. Like, wouldn't that be cool?
This is such a good idea.
Right? Like, wouldn't that be awesome to have, like, because so many of these people have a story that's, unique to them, but similar in scope. Yep. It'd be cool to have, like their logo on it and their name and their story, like the story on the back. I think that'd be sweet.
This is such a good idea.
Yeah. Let's get on that.
We need to do this.
All right, let's do it. Dylan, let's make some calls.
You've got some, you could.
I think even our travelers will enjoy those because, they get a pack of brewery baseball cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe the wrapper's got Atlas on it.
Maybe.
They open it up and then it's the brewery and they're like, oh, this is where I want to go.
Yeah.
Next assignment. Or
back in the day, in the old Topps cards, they had the checklist card. Remember that? You always hated to get it.
I hated
But then
that.
sometimes you'd actually use it. I did.
Yeah.
With a pen.
Yep.
You could have those in there and be like, oh, well, state, here's some in this state or this town. Yep. Oh, man, this is a great idea. I'm telling you what.
I'm like, oh, man, I got another Scott Strain card. God damn it.
Maybe we could get a special autographed one, slide them in there, giveaway. Most good ideas happen around drinking beer. I'm pretty sure. At least
Absolutely
for me.
True.
That's
yeah.
I never had a good idea till I was 22.
So explain to us what we're drinking here, because there is and maybe it's just because we followed the brewed IPA with a standard IPA. There is there's something else there.
Okay, well, there's definitely different malts, and I would guess that the hops are different. This tastes citrusy to me. Simcoe definitely in here in this beer. Maybe like, I don't know. There's probably a couple different ones. Simcoe is something I'm getting for sure.
Way pineier.
Yeah, more of a traditional style IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this one says.
I don't think it says on the
Yeah, this one doesn't say
label.
Anything on
no
on the spacewalk. What's in it? Let's see what this one says.
I don't think it does. I looked and I didn't see it.
Here. A Texas IPA with few natural predators. I like that.
Oh, nice, excellent.
Let's see here.
I like the wit and wisdom that is on beer labels nowadays.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
It reminds me of Bazooka Joe. Packed with tropical fruit and citrus notes from Eureka, Simcoe, and Mosaic hops.
Oh.
So that's in the standard Axis IPA.
It is a pretty standard IPA.
Yep. Good and drinkable. I like it.
Yep.
So here's where I came with some research for us today.
Okay.
That's kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to learn about stuff I don't know about.
Yes.
But also I tied it into something that I can't say that I'm passionate about it because I can't do it, but I wish I could.
All right.
And that's dancing.
Oh.
Everybody looks. Yeah, I'm gonna say it one more time. That's dancing.
I
wish I could dance.
Where are you going with this?
Right here. What's that?
The moonwalk.
The moonwalk.
Oh.
What do you think of?
I knew you'd tie this back to music somehow.
What do you think of when you think of moonwalk?
Yeah. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. So we're gonna tiptoe and avoid any sort of current issues with Michael Jackson because guess what? He's kind of as an 80s kid, you and I.
Absolutely.
He created the moonwalk, right?
Yes.
Guess what? It's been around for 80 years before Michael Jackson.
You're lying.
I am not, and I have the documentation to prove it. I did some research, so we're going to get into this a little bit, and because that's what I always thought as a kid. I mean, it was him.
Michael Jackson.
It was him. He created the moonwalk.
You're going to destroy part of my childhood.
I'm going to enhance your adulthood, though, so that's cool. Let's try it. Moonwalk. Here's why we know it. This is why Rich and Brian know about the moonwalk. May 16th, 1983, Michael Jackson does the moonwalk across the stage of the Motown 25th anniversary concert.
I was 8 years old.
So he shows up on TV. I was 5. And he does the dance. He does the thing. And it's amazing.
Yes.
He's sliding backwards. He's being blown by a breeze we can't see.
He defied gravity.
Yes, he did. And guess what? So have a lot of other people. First, I can find it. Similar step and movements. 1932. Cab Calloway. You know about Cab Calloway?
Yes.
He was in the Blues Brothers movie.
Yes, he
Remember
was.
that?
Yes.
So 1932, he called this move, and back in the day, these guys were calling it the buzz. That was the step that they called it. He was a conductor in an orchestra.
Okay.
He also, I think, played a couple instruments too, and was a dancer, and he would dance as he was conducting his orchestra. So I found a cool video of him doing a maneuver that was very similar. It didn't go on as long. It was like one step. But 1932, so that's 90 something years ago?
Yeah.
85, whatever.
A lot.
Math is hard for me, so is science. 1932 Cab Calloway. And then we roll into the 40s, 1944, so we're talking World War II time.
Okay.
Here's a movie I've seen, and maybe you have too. It's called Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yes.
Or St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Judy Garland. Margaret O'Brien. I think she was in, what's that epic movie? Gone with the Wind. I think she was in that.
Okay.
Fact check that if you want. They did the dance.
Casablanca.
They did the move in 1944 in that movie.
Okay.
And then in the 50s, here's a guy we know, Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
He had that and he did it in a comedy routine. And basically it was called Mailing a Letter on a Windy Day. So that's the premise. And he's like going, he's trying to go forward, but he can't. He's going backwards. He's trying to fight against the wind, and he can't do it.
Okay.
So he is doing that move in the 50s. Then we jump up to 1955. There's a guy named Bill Bailey. He's a dancer, performer, and he does it. He's a tap dancer, and he does that move in his routine. And then around that same time, when you think of mimes,
Marcel Marceau.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
He does it. He
I can see that.
He has
Okay.
also deals with wind. Mm-hmm. So he's fighting against the wind. He's trying to climb up a hill against the wind, and he keeps getting blown back down.
Okay.
So he's doing it there. Props to you on
Right?
mime knowledge.
Well,
I try not to think about mimes. They're kind of creepy, but
I don't like clowns. I can handle mimes. I don't like clowns.
mimes are like more aggravating to me.
Only the street ones. Only
Yeah.
the street performer ones.
Is
They're
there like
always in a box.
Is there
always.
another level of mime that we don't know about?
No, well,
That's the only thing I can think of, mimes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So they did that in the 50s. 1958, there's a Spanish language movie made in Mexico City. The star Adalberto Martinez.
Okay.
He does it, and it's called Summer School. He does that move in there, and I saw that on the internet.
I think he probably hit like 225 for the Rangers
You're
that year
thinking
too.
of Adalberto Mondesi.
Oh, okay,
That's
there
my
we go.
guy from the Royals.
Yeah, shortstop.
Here we go. So late 60s, man. 1969, Summer of Love.
Yeah.
Children's show, HR Puffin Stuff.
Yes.
You know about that?
Absolutely.
Well, there's a character on there called Judy the Frog, and she taught the kids how to moonwalk that day. So on that episode of January, it was November 1st, 1969, Judy the Frog teaches some 60s kids how to moonwalk.
Did they call it the moonwalk?
Yeah, that's what it was called. Wow. The moonwalk. 1972, Desi and Lucy, from the Lucy show.
Absolutely.
They had a kid. They had two, Desi Jr., but there's also Lucy, Lucie, the daughter. I had never heard of her.
No.
I looked her up. She is a exact 50-50 copy of her parents.
Weird.
And it was a little unsettling. I'm gonna just not to put too fine a point on it.
Like when you go to like the fun house or whatever, like maybe like Dave and Buster's, and you do like, what would your kids look like? And then, that would be
It's
it.
exactly right. Like they calibrated the machine on her.
Bizarre.
It was very strange.
Weird.
She was Lucy back in that time. She had like a variety show in the late 70s. Everybody had a variety show
Of
on
course,
TV.
yeah.
And hers was called like Hey Lucy or something like that. Here's Lucy. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
And she and this guy, Jim Bailey, who I was talking about before, the tap dance dude, I think, they did a song Fever. You know that song?
No.
Dolan, you know that song Fever?
No. Fever.
Man, I don't even know.
Are you gonna sing it?
I
Can you
was
sing
gonna
it for
try,
us?
but I'm trying to think of the lyrics.
I don't know if I've ever heard it. Who sang it originally? Is
I
it?
think it was like Peggy Lee or Brenda Lee. It was one of the Lees.
I've heard of Peggy Lee. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to find the
Okay.
thing. But they on the show they lip synced it, and she did the dance. She did the move, the moonwalk. I watched it, and it was pretty good.
Really?
Like she was a dancer, singer, performer in Lucy's shadow, but she did it really well in that clip that I saw.
Why did it blow everybody's mind then when Michael Jackson
I don't know.
did
We're
it?
getting there. We're getting there. 1974. Here's a name that you'll know, maybe. I know as someone who wishes he could dance. Bob Fosse. Famous choreographer. Probably the most famous choreographer. He played a character called the Snake in the Little Prince movie. So I think it's like a fairy tale maybe.
Okay.
He does the moonwalk on the movie in that, 1974. Here's where I'm going to pull you back in. 1979, 3 wrestlers. They were a triple tag team.
Uh-oh.
They were known as the Fabulous Freebirds.
Yeah, yeah.
They would come into the ring. They did the moonwalk. Their names, Michael, get ready for this, Pure Sexy Hayes. Terry Gordy. That sounds like a... I don't
Terry
know
Gordy?
that. Yeah, just like a dude with hairy chest and blue trunks.
Yeah.
And Buddy Roberts.
Yep.
So definitely Michael Pure Sexy Hayes is winning that battle.
Michael P.S. Hayes, as he was later known as.
Yeah.
And I always wondered what the P.S. was.
Are you being for real?
For real. I have no idea. I just thought P.S. like that was at the end. It's P.S.
P.S.
I did not know it stood for that.
Because he could moonwalk. So he started doing that. Let's see here. In 1981, this is where we get back to some music stuff. The Talking Heads shot a video for a song called Cross-Eyed and Painless. And he, the singer, and basically the head of everything, he picked out some street performers to be in the video, dancers, like a pop lock crew, so like break dancing and stuff.
1981 style, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's David Byrne, who picked these dancers out, and he picked out a guy and who was with a really famous New York City street crew, and he did it in that video. And then there's a band called Shalimar. You ever heard of them?
Yes.
1982, they had a song called A Night to Remember, and there was a guy in the band, I think he was the singer or a performer in the band. His name was Jeffrey Daniel, and he did the video on Top of the Pops, which was a British show. It was like a Dick Clark type show.
Sure.
That's where it comes into Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson sees it, and then is like kind of trying to do it, to do the dance, right?
Yeah.
A little bit later that year in 82, Debbie Allen does the dance. She does the steps on a show called Fame, which is like the original Glee.
Yes.
She is sister to Felicia Rashad.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And then in the movie Flashdance, which is one of our favorites, I'm sure.
I love Flashdance.
They do that dance in there. There's a dance crew that does it.
Does the moonwalk. Mm-hmm. During the Maniac when
nope, not that one.
No, okay.
So
made famous by Tommy Boy, not nearly as famous as actual.
Right, but it's still I can still see it now.
Exactly.
I miss him.
Yep.
Jeffrey Daniel, I talked about him earlier from the Shalimar thing. His band Shalimar was on Soul Train.
Okay.
And which was up until a couple years ago was still on, surprisingly.
I think it might, yeah.
And Michael Jackson saw him again on there, and he was like, called his manager, and he said, "Get this guy. I need to learn how to do this dance."
Okay.
Well, Shalimar was on tour. That is a sentence I didn't think I'd say today. Shalimar was on tour in Europe in '84, and so this guy couldn't come, so he sent some like of his dance underlings to go tutor Michael Jackson.
Okay.
And MJ just can't get it. He just isn't doing it. So finally, when the tour's over and Jeffrey Daniel comes back to the U.S., he himself goes to Michael Jackson and teaches him the steps.
Really?
And that's how he anchors it in and makes it his own and basically makes everybody think he's the one that created that dance. 1984, there's a song by a dude named Dan Hartman.
Okay.
One-hit wonder. It's called I Can Dream About You.
I remember this song.
They do the moonwalk in that video.
Really?
Yeah. And then 1988 rolls around, and this is how old are you then? 12, 13?
So 88, I would have been, let's see, so I was 10 and 84, so 14.
Yeah. Moonwalker the movie. Moonwalker the video game.
The Michael Jackson game.
Yes.
Yes.
That happens. And that explodes across everything. He has the white suit and the white fedora. He does the whole like lean forward thing.
The Smooth Criminal video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, from that time frame.
Yep.
So it was called Moonwalker. Whatever.
For the longest time, wasn't there a Moonwalker like ride at Disney World Land?
It's possible.
One of those, and eventually they didn't close it because of all the stuff that happened with Michael Jackson. But it was old. It was an older.
Yeah.
There's
tougher dance moves now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Nothing as classic though. As classic as
apparently it's been around 80 years.
That's unbelievable.
So
you've told some pretty unbelievable stories in our times together. I never would have expected this.
I never expected to even get into this today. No. So I was happy to learn all this. Here's another one. Here's a sports related one for you. I picked this one out.
Sweet.
Alexei Kovalev. What do you think he plays?
I'm gonna go with tennis.
No, hockey. He did the moonwalk after scoring goals.
No.
He did it as early as 2001, and he was doing it in 2010. So he would light you up, hat trick,
Yep.
moonwalk across the ice in your face.
And
Boom. And then they would beat him up.
I was thinking maybe he lost a couple teeth because
Probably
of that,
has
too.
one less. And
Ryan Turek probably took
he
him down.
probably
at
knows
some
about
point.
this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's done the
He might have
moonwalk.
fought
We'll have to
him.
ask him.
Maybe.
And then most recently, I could find it 2018. Alicia Cara, in a song called "Trust the Lonely." She did the dance move in the video. So that's even as like last year.
Are you sure you just didn't pronounce Alicia Keys wrong there?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Cara.
Oh, okay,
I don't
there
think
we go.
Alicia Keys is dancing behind the piano too often.
No, maybe
So-
not. You're right.
But yeah, that's the history of the moonwalk. I thought, I was gonna go space on us, and I was like, well, I can't really tie space in Texas, and maybe I wasn't sure. Then the dance move hit me, and I always wanted to be a dancer, man. Dang, wish I could dance. I can't.
You could have gone with like Galveston and maybe did some research on. I don't know. I
There's
think
a great country western song called Galveston by
doesn't-
Glenn Campbell.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
It's just the refrain is just Galveston, oh Galveston, just like that.
Talk about the next Healthcare Travelers Music Club right there. Maybe that's what it is. It's Galveston.
Could be Galveston.
You never know.
Could be I Can Dream About You. Oh man.
If you had asked me who sang "I Could Dream About You," I would have said Rick Astley.
Well, Rick Astley famously was British, right? So he
Yes.
didn't pronounce the song the same way this guy did. Poor Dan Hartman has been lost to the sands of time, but his song "I Can Dream About You" still lives on.
Any relation to Phil Hartman?
We'll say second cousins.
There we go.
'Cause-
There you go.
yeah.
Why not? We're all
not?
really
We're all
somehow
somehow.
related.
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth cousins
Yep.
somehow.
Yep. Just get in the family tree somewhere. You'll find.
Here's
somebody
what's
else.
unbelievable about the whole thing is every bit of what you just talked about all happened before Dolan was born. 100%.
I think even the 2001 stuff did.
Yes. What year were you born?
97. 97.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I had dropped out of college by 97.
Good for you.
I know. I had like 3 sophomore years and thought, what am I doing here?
I was in college in '97.
Show
Yeah.
off.
Freshman. Took summer school my freshman year. Got a head start.
Oh,
Wow. So yeah, that's what I know about the moonwalk.
I like it. So, Real Ale Brewing Company, Blanco, Texas. We'll have to count how many times I said Blanco in this.
We gotta have a little
In this
counter on there.
little
Yeah.
ding, little episode thing.
I
If this
bet
were a
it's-
video, we'd have a little graphic,
Yeah. It's easily over 40.
probably.
It's
What's
Blanco, not Blanco, right?
It is Blanco.
I just wanted to
Watch
trick you.
their video on there. It is Blanco.
Blanco,
Yeah. If you go down there, if you're close there, it's an hour outside of Austin. There's a ton of travel nurses down there. There's a ton of hospitals down there. Hour outside of downtown. Did I say Austin? I said Boston
yeah.
there for a second.
Oh.
Austin. Hour outside of downtown Austin. On the outskirts, you can get there a little bit quicker. When you watch the video, you'll see like at the end of the day, all their brewers are outside like playing bags and doing whatever and
Yeah.
just hanging out with the people that come to their brewery.
It looked like a cool place to hang out.
Yeah.
Just from the pictures I saw.
Very chill, very kind of just Midwestern Texas kind of vibe. So,
Yeah.
and you can tell that in their beer too.
I like that. I would prefer that over like a big city put, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather hang out in nowhere, Texas than Chicago, but that's just me.
Sit at a picnic table in the middle
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
bunch of trees and listen to the cicadas.
Probably
and
have some barbecue or something.
now I'm hungry.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So next week we are going back to Colorado next week.
Okay, what are we gonna sample?
I'm not gonna spoil
no
it for
spoilers.
you. But it is at least here in the Midwest, it is one of those beers that you can't get outside. There isn't any distribution outside of the brewery, outside of the city that it's in. It's another IPA.
Okay.
But it is one of those kind of mythical ones. Like, oh, you got that? Like,
Okay.
oh, where'd you get that 4-pack
So a
from?
head turner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or the record scratch that I heard in my video yesterday.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. So
Cool.
Another IPA next week, Brian. I thought I'd get more of a reaction out of you there.
Oh, I thought we were just ending it. Sorry. I was just like thinking about all the IPAs it could be. I was just getting so excited over here.
All right. We'll see you next week.